Trinity Force. That's where we've seen him actually fall behind a few times.
We'll see if they correct those mistakes this time around. Picks and bans starting right now. Cassiopeia Nidalee taken off the board. Remember, Kikis has only one on that champion. And of course, the expected Jax ban.
Yeah, Jax ban as always against Giants. No real surprise here. 2 mid lane bans, or 2 flex pick bans, we can actually say, and then the Nidalee against Kikis. So Jarvan for him would most likely be the option, depending on what Giants will first pick. Lissandra is open for them, and with 2 top lane bans, that's actually a top laner that Werlip would be able to do some work on, but we haven't seen him played yet.
Yeah, I'm actually curious, and I think it's really, really interesting they banned out the Rek'Sai. Giants could have easily first picked this one, but remember the last, if you think back all the way back to week 2,
I think Unicorns want to,
matchup happened.
So
yeah, that was that big Rek'Sai play for Kikis. So leaving the Jarvan open, of course, means a no-brainer for Giants. They're going to take that one. What did the Unicorns answer with? As the fans are loving the Terra cover, a little shout out.
So this first pick here for Giants, because of the 2 jungle bans, is actually very good. Kikis obviously has a massive amount of other random picks in the jungle. Not going to be able to pull out the TF as we saw at IEM, sadly for him, after a few changes to the jungle camps, and obviously TF or this Devour itself. So I'm not really sure actually what Unicorns will respond with here. I don't think there's going to be any power picks. There's not too many of them left. Unless, again, they want to save the top lane pick here to see what Werlip is picking. Ahri, again, has been slightly nerfed on this patch, so it didn't feel like they had to go for that one. I mean, you play Syndra in the mid lane for the likes of Power of Evil as well if you want to.
Yeah, for the Unicorns, I think they didn't want to reveal too much. Kikis goes back onto Lee Sin. Only played that one once so far this split. And the Thresh pickup as well. It's actually a denial from Rydal. Over on the other side, they take the Morgana. That's a counter. It could go top lane for Werlip, but kind of doubting that one. Pepinero is going to get his Ahri.
Had this been like week 2 or week 3, I would say, yeah, you take that Thresh away from Rydal because he played it in nearly every single game, but he's not really gone back to it the last few weeks. So I actually feel like Unicorns didn't really gain anything by allowing Giants to first pick that Jarvan here with the 2 jungle picks, because Lee Sin and Thresh, not exactly picks you directly take away from them, and like highly contested picks in that or in this pick and ban phase.
On the other hand, speaking of takeaways, this would be a big one. This is a big one for the Unicorns of Love, as they deny Pepinero the Xerath. He did have some trouble on it yesterday, but he has certainly liked it. Well, yeah, he's already locked in the Ahri, so there's no point.
Yeah, and so now we get the situation for Unicorns again, where they actually rely on this mid-game spike through the Corki Trinity Force Sorcerer's Boots into obviously Morel Nomicon from Xerath and let's say a large rod completed at that time. And then you group around this 15 to 20 minute point, and you really use your heavy siege comp, you use your early skirmish power of a Lee Sin as well to get a goal lead to poke down turrets and obviously see if you can create a few picks as well, because you have some good options here. Stun from a Xerath into a hook from a Thresh, suddenly you have a target down. But they gotta use that Trinity Force, which they didn't do yesterday. That was the main reason they lost to H2K. So I want to see if they have learned from that and not have Vardax to sit and farm for 20 minutes in a lane.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit uncharacteristic of them. And I mean, it was almost bizarro Unicorns yesterday rather. And I want to see what they change up this time around. Giants letting the timer tick down. Looks like they are favoring that Sivir pickup. And they do lock in the Renekton.
And we see Unicorns saving their last pick for the top lane after banning Jax and Gnar. So Werlip on his side feel like he has to go for more of a safe choice and takes the Renekton, who we haven't seen too much from. People build full tank or maybe just a Tiamat on him. And again, if he doesn't really win early game and snowball from that, he just becomes a tank in the late game who doesn't provide the same amount of CC or utility as the likes of a Maokai, the likes of a Mundo. So I want to see if they actually gonna focus on Werlip and try and snowball him through the Jarvan, their Renekton, because that's a good combo. Land a stun from a Renekton, easy knock up from a Jarvan, or force the flash, and then EQ combo from a Jarvan. So they can really apply a lot of pressure through those 2 picks. And then the other 2 lanes, I mean, Sivir is a fairly safe laner, especially into Corki. That's not a problem for her at all. So that they can do 2v2 lane in that case. And Ahri, of course, going to handle herself in the mid lane. So in this case, Giants can, if they get standard lanes, really try and snowball this Renekton from Werlip.
Right, that matchup for Unicorns, it looks like it's going to be decided on the Maokai. I really do like the fact that Giants have a solid amount of chase built in. They have got some CC lockdown. They've got a fair amount of mobility. They've got the on the hunt. It's going to be tricky if Unicorns find themselves caught a little bit out, especially if you're Power of Evil or even Kikis. Vizichachi should be tanky enough once he gets up to a decent level.
Yeah.
But I want to see how the Giants do start out this game. If they go for lane swap, if they go for standard.
I really want to see standard lanes from Giants. They need it. You have your Jarvan, you go to the Renekton lane, and you snowball that one. You try and shut down the Maokai so he doesn't become tanky going into the mid-game points, which means if Unicorns or Love decide to group on their power spike through Corki Xerath to poke you down, then you can engage on them and your front line, because they've now got these few early kills to Jarvan and Renekton. It's going to be way better than the Lee Sin Maokai in that case, and you're going to win the fights from that. You can dive onto Xerath, you can and simply lock him down. He's immobile, he needs flash to get out of the Jarvan ulti. So that should be the go-to tactic for Giants, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Unicorn say, fair enough, we're going to swap it around, try and draw out the game a little bit until we hit our spike, and then the Renekton doesn't get to play his strong laning phase. Just, I guess.
I think they might follow that advice, Deficio. The crowd settles down for just a moment, but you can't really keep them quiet for too long. Now, of course, it's your turn at home to make those predictions. Tweet us at LOL Esports with that hashtag GIA win or UOL win. Let us know who you think is going to reign victorious, either Giants or the Unicorns of Love. Looks like we're going up onto the Rift for this game. Can the Giants pull off another miracle, or will the Unicorns find their consistency? We're about to find out.
Yeah, we're going to get to learn a lot from this early game here. If you fall behind when you run the likes of Xerath Corki, this poke potential, then suddenly Giants will be able to force the fights on you. With the Jarvan engaged and followed with the Renekton, and obviously the mobility coming from the Sivir, the Ahri jumping in. So for Giants here, again, get standard lanes. Get Whirly Brawling, or in case Frederick want to focus on different lanes, that's fine too, but you need to be able to snowball one of your lanes here. So Unicorns can't just group up at 15, 16 minutes and uncontested start taking your towers.
Well, the Unicorns do seem to want to start something a little bit early. Vardag's Hylissang and Power of Evil now hanging out in this brush. Frederick not going to catch sight of him just yet, but they don't know exactly where he is. Oh, he's going to see Kikis, though. Start that one off. Land the Sonic Wave. See if he can bait it out. They're actually going to get the chase on it, and this is going to be a flank.
So
Giants are just in a whole heap of trouble, but they've got to change their attention. The hook is in, and Frederick is going to go down. They give it over to Vardags, and that's first blood. A minute 10.
Kick is walking in there and then running away like he's afraid of them when they move forward, and then they just collapse in from behind. Getting that first blood. No summoners used from Giants, but early kill for Vardags on this Corki here. Suddenly, you're getting closer and closer to a very early Trinity Force.
Yep, 400 gold ahead of his lane, and
got a long sword already.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine in this one. Looks like we will have the standard lane matchups. We're going to accompany Frederick for a little bit of buddy system jungling to start this one off.
So for Giants here, start golems, have your pool already. Morgana's very good at taking down these crooks, sorry, the golems, early on, and then go into the lane itself, and you can fast push it down. You put the pool on the ranged minions, so they also will hit the enemy AD carry. So he's now forced to either stand in the pool and trade with you, or back away, and then he loses the early push, which means you get your level 2 on the Morgana Sivir lane, you step forward with the binding, and you try and force a summoner at level 1. That should be the tactic now for Giants coming in. There's, of course, a small XP bonus for Vardags with that first blood. And actually Giants took a while doing golems, so they didn't manage to get in and get a push going. They can still do it though. They lost only one melee minion, which means the last ranged one here is going to level them up to level 2. And then they can actually go for the engage.
Got to be careful, doesn't take too much poke off that Foss Bomb. Warlib and Vizichachi now going to butt a little bit ahead. We call this a wet noodle fight, but that noodle's got some thorns. Warlib is going to back off from Vizichachi. Meanwhile, Hylissang black shielded, but the hook connects all the same. A little bit more damage than he bargained for.
So Rydell must have gotten all the XP on the crooks here, because Archery is still only level 1 from him, so they misplayed the golems, the crooks. Name changing here. For Giant side, you obviously want to give that last to your AD carry, unless you play with the likes of a Leona. Maybe you can do a cheesy instant level 2, but now Hylissang, he's roaming. He likes to do this early on. One of the reasons they pick Corki, he can handle himself in a 1v2 and straight for Pipinero.
Yeah, they didn't land the stun on Peppy. He's going to try to run away from that one. Has to burn his flash as Kikis was coming around as well. He successfully grabbed that one. Hylissang makes the roundabout.
That was a very early roam, however, and actually resulting in Vardags being zoned away a little bit. Minions will journey in for him, so he's going to stay even in farm at least. And obviously a flash blown from Pipinero, which is going to be important for Power Beaver, because he really wants to get very, very fast to his first item, especially when you know your Corki has gotten the first blood, so you can get early Trinity Force as well, so you can group even earlier than you normally would. And start sieging down when Giants are still a bit too squishy to really engage the fights.
Yeah, Bardock still zoned a little bit back. This time it's only, well, now they've brought Rydal back. He went on a little bit of a roaming mission himself, but he stopped just short of this one. Hylissang now moving forward in lane. Back to the mid side, Pepinero going to take a little bit of abuse from Power of Evil.
It's going to be really fun to see the late game between these two teams here, because it's a bit hard to say who's actually gonna win the late game fights, because Sivir obviously will outskill a Corki, but Sivir has to kill a Maokai in the late game who's just gonna dive onto it every single time. Xerath is a monster late game, but Ahri, especially after the changes here where she builds a lot more consistent damage and not just pure burst, is still a good pick as long as she lands the correct charm to really assassinate someone. But obviously Renekton is gonna fall off, but then suddenly the Jarvan is gonna outskill the Lee Sin. So it's going to be tough to say what's going to happen in these late game fights. That mobility from Giants is really going to allow them to get on to Power of Evil every single time from the Sivir. But then obviously you have super tank in a Maokai and the late game Xerath, who will be a complete monster.
Yeah, Power of Evil though did pick the Xerath knowing this. So he has to have something in mind for this situation. So far staying fairly safe in the farm gains. Not backed away yet. Now he's going to be starting up that recall animation. Visit Chachi up in the top. Just hits level 5 a little bit after Warlib, who is pushing him in quite well. That's what a lane bully will do for you. 9 CS ahead.
Yeah, and we haven't seen any action from Frederick early on, so they haven't really used this Renekton too well, because Visit Chachi just keeping up in farm with no problems.
How about that fan vote, though? Giants, after their big win yesterday, they definitely have seen a bit of a bump in the polls. Unicorns of Love still coming out ahead, but not by as much as we might have expected.
Giants always have a lot of fans.
That's very true.
After being their full Spanish team, the only Spanish players in the LCS.
Got to represent.
For sure. We talked about it actually coming into the LCS itself, how there was some extra pressure because they want to perform for your country, but it was also just fantastic to see how many fans they had back home cheering for them and motivated them to really try and do better.
And we're able to pick up that win at the very end there over Elements yesterday. Going to look to try to make it an even 2.
We're going to see an old classic here from Warlib, the Blade of the Ruined King Renekton. And the reason it's good is because your W, when you use it, will apply on-hit effects. So when you get that one, if you get 2 hits, obviously if you don't have enough rage being built up, 3 hits if you do have, and then you get the on-hit effects from the blade every single time, the percent damage you do on the current HP. Power flashing and missing it here. So Warlib really building towards split pushing against Visichachi, but once you get some armor on him, then he won't die to this Renekton, even though there's a blade coming in.
Yep, when you can't get Jax, you might as well go for something a little bit comfortable. Anyways, Warlib gonna hit that level 6, will have Dominus available to him, but he is getting pushed in by Visichachi.
Yeah, Chachi just happy farming. Warlib is a guy who needs to create some plays on the Renekton itself, and this actually gonna make him fairly squishy for the mid-game fights with this blade first.
Oh, they're really focused on Pepinero. There is the flash hook. It's not gonna land. Unicorns have been having so much trouble trying to catch a Fox here, and Peppy is just dodging away.
See Warlib is looking for the trades here with this Cutlass early. Chachi just backing away from it, no ulti being popped by anyone. Hylissang going for that flash, even after seeing the ulti being popped from Pepinero. I feel like he could just said, okay, fair enough, we got that ulti. Let's back away, go back into this bot lane, because now Jarvan suddenly has a very easy lane to gank with this Thresh here for him. No level 6 yet for Frederick, and we haven't seen a single gank. Normally, he's so active on the map. Like, he's trying to snowball a lane. Every single game we see Giants play, and they often actually do really well in the early stages because of his ganks. But in this game, he's just been sitting back farming.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder. Giants have actually really been the team out of all the ones that we've seen in this LCS spring split to really mix it up almost from game to game. It's really hard to know what to expect from them. They're trying quite a lot different things. Rydal is going to get the black shield on himself, won't get pulled in by Hylissang. Kikis has been focusing quite a lot on this mid lane with that red buff now picked up. See what he can do. So far, all those efforts have been pretty much for a differential of CS of 1.
Yeah, and I think for Unicorns here going towards the late game points, you have magic damage on Maokai, you have obviously magic damage on Xerath, and you have half and half on the Corki. So it does mean for Giants they can invest heavily into MR and become pretty hard for Unicorns to take down. And now gank onto Kikis here, Whirlip, sorry.
Yep, Whirlip, he's going to actually have to flash back away, but Kikis not trying to let him escape. He's going to be able to pull off the insect. And Vizicachi coming up
it's not
with
over
that
yet.
kill. Pepinero looking for a little bit more. Kikis is going to dash to him, gets the charm, looking for a Vizicachi as well. Not quite enough. No, maybe he does have it. Twisted advance. He's going to fall all the way back. A double kill from Peppy, but he gets sniped at the end of the day. Power of evil. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and it's 2-3.
Messing up the names a little bit here. A lot of action suddenly in this top lane here. First gank coming in from Kikis. We saw the kick flash onto Whirlip, and then suddenly the mid laners roaming up. Frederick, nowhere to be seen. Still, he's going down towards the bottom. They want to go for the dragon instead.
Yep. Knowing that they have a small timing window to make this happen, Frederick, Rydal, Audrey going to start up this Drake, but they're not going to get it for free. Hylissang actually going to walk right on by. There we go. Yeah, he does not.
No flash.
Vardegs can't really get in here to try and make anything happen. He actually eats a binding, so they might actually get something on top of it. Looking for some dessert. He flashes away with a sliver of health. But that could have been quite bad for Unicorns. Giants pick up a dragon.
Yeah, you saw Hylissang positioning himself here behind Vardegs, so he had the lantern. Worst case, and he wasn't going to be targeted. But let's see the gank. So Kick is coming in first. He's basically waiting with his ult here. He wants Willip to use all his dashes and flashes, whatever it is. Kicks him back then. This again, remember, it's a kick flash. You start the animation first of your ulti, then you flash after, so there's no reaction time. Pepinero joining first. This is a nice setup. He's actually saving the charm here. And then in the very end, he gets it onto Chachi, finishing Kikis at the same time. Goes for the kill. Pepinero will obviously come in and manage to get a return kill for him and the Unicorns.
Bit of a weird animation there towards the end with the Twisted Advance. Power of Evil. Yeah, comes up with the kill, the double buffs, the cleanup duty on him. All said and done, it's still 3-2 to the Unicorns of Love, but the gold is bang even. There's a dragon in the pockets of Giants Gaming.
There's 2 kills for this Ahri here. That's going to be important because now with this Renekton building so much damage, it changes how Giants want to play the game, because they can no longer just look for straight up team fights the same way they could before, because this Renekton is going to die fairly easily. Instead, it's going to be the 1-3-1, where Pepinero is going to be the other guy to split push in a different lane than Whirlip. So it's very important he gets these 2 early kills, so he can actually become so strong that nobody can one-on-one him. And obviously, you don't want to put a Zerif or Corki against an Ahri. That's going to be the tactic for Giants moving later in. And now, more fighting.
Yep, he's going to try the 2-step. He manages to get away. No, that was close. Okay, time to back to base.
I like this here. This game is fun to watch.
Oh, yes, it is indeed. Vizicachi World not tired of giving each other black eyes just yet. Going to back off for round 1. And Vardegs is caught. I can't really even pronounce the names as fast as the action is happening. Hylissang trying to zone for his AD carry.
And we see Morello from Power of Evil. No Athenes. He's a real man here. Don't need MR against an Ahri. And obviously, you also want that healing reduction against the likes of Renekton, because remember, after the changes, Renekton does heal more in a team fight when he gets the Q onto champions. It's going to work wonders for him. And he wants, again, that earlier spike in power. And we just need Vardegs to get his Trinity Force. Then Unicorn should group before Giants gets to the point where they can start spreading out and actually split pushing in. Playing a bit of an SK style where you control all 3 lanes at once and you're so strong in every lane that the enemy team can't defend, other than sitting at their own turret, and then suddenly you lose all your map control to Giants.
Speaking of lane control, let's take a look at how Unicorns have done in this bottom side. A little bit of gold ahead from that first blood. That's really what's making the big difference for Vardegs right now. And this is a pretty rough lane if you're a Thresh, just because of the double spell shields, or rather the double shields that can negate your hooks and your flays.
It's also why we've seen Hylissang actually move away from the lane, trying to create some place in the mid lane. Instead, while Vardegs on this Corki, one of the AD carries who can again sit on his own and still get most of the CS. So allowing your support basically to roam around and not try and create any place against double shields in the bottom lane.
Looked like
doing it again.
Slightly
I like this move.
The Lantern Train. Yep, they're moving around. They're going to try to find something here. Pepinero's not quite at home, and he's going to realize Hylissang is there.
Just great timing by Hylissang. He has the early Moby boots, didn't go for Sidestone first, just buying the wards instead, allowing him to roam into the enemy jungle. As soon as Adri recalled, he moved in there, placed 2 deep wards to try and again spot out Frederick, get some more information. You can now start pre-planning, because Unicorns, they want to group very, very soon. So you need these wards here to see if Giants are trying to set up any kinds of flank on you.
Giants, meanwhile, continue to play this out a little bit standard here. Blue buff on Pepinero. And they're going to be pinging away as they see Rydal hanging out in that brush. Frederick trade places with him.
And still for Frederick, he hasn't really been part of too much. 0 assist for him. He wasn't there in the big top lane fight. Looking for Kikis. They want him to move in between the choke point here, or Pepineo to move over to try and ward into the bush. And then you're going to see a charm into a kill. Already set up this pink here, so the trap is ready, waiting for the mouse.
Well, they may have switched their attention to Power Reveal, but they've really spent some time sitting in here and actually...
He doesn't even have a ward ready to place, so he's obviously not going to move there.
Can't do much in that situation. Unicorns do not bite on the bait. Meanwhile, up at the top, Werlib is a Chachi. Are going to continue to trade that one out. Still a bit of a farm advantage to Werlib for the time being. Audrey, Ride will pick up the bottom side turret.
And that's been the problem, and also why Giants really wanted the standard lanes, because your side lanes would be winning with the Sivir in the bottom lane, and obviously the Renekton in the top lane. So they have managed to now get a tower there, and Renekton has got some damage on the top turret, meaning there's some very fast towers for Giants to get. And again, if you play this 1-3-1 setup, you need to get those outer turrets down so you can start pushing the lanes further in, and therefore allowing you to take the short route when you're running from a top lane to the mid lane. If you can go straight through the enemy jungle instead of having to run all the way down the river, then suddenly you can start out-rotating the other team. You play around their wave control very easily, and that's why getting these outer turrets are so important for Giants.
Well, they've got one, 2 more still up for grabs as another iteration of this fight happens in the top side. Werlib getting slightly better one in that case. Blue buff being picked up by the Unicorns of Love. Should go over to Power of Evil.
We're going to see Audrey stay in the bottom lane for now because Dragon is spawning in 20 seconds. But once this Dragon is gone, he should just swap to the top lane, push that one in very easily, see how much is actually on. The tower is down to about 50% HP, so that's going to be a fast push for him to take with his support after this Dragon is gone. It's going to be the first focus. Kikis.
They're running right into
trouble.
The Sivir. Kikis takes a little more damage than he bargained for. Dragon is actually procced here, and he's going to harass Kikis on the way out. This could be a chance for Giants to start this one up. Gotta be careful, though. Ooh, Frederick, he's caught on a line. Can they take him out? That's the question. Not nearly enough damage. They're going to actually back away from that one. Another Dragon is going over to Giants as Frederick intercepts the big rocket. Yeah,
they have the better positioning, and there's no poke being landed by either the Corki or Xerath beforehand. So if Unicorns were walking in before guys to try and take the fight, instantly Frederick would have engaged like he's doing now onto Power of Evil.
Yep, jumps on in. Frederick goes in, eats another hook, and Vardex comes up with a kill of his own. Missiles fired ahead. Pepinero has bailed out, though.
And now suddenly you get this push for Unicorns. The Trinity Force is completed. We talked about it earlier. Now they're grouping up. They got a pick. That's going to be a free tower for them. Might even be able to push it even further down. They have to worry about Audrey, though, in this bottom lane.
Who needs the Dragons? They've got...
They have teleport on Maokai, actually, so Vischachi can go and defend if he needs to.
He will if they start pushing this one up. Audrey actually took a little bit of damage from that tower before. Got a little bit knifey trying to take that one out. But you see Werlib actually moving up topside, realizes there's 3 members there. Maybe that's not the safest place to be, but he might not have a choice. He's going to slice and dice his way out of relative danger. Kick is still there, the kickback. Werlib, a big croc. He's going to flash it. Vardex coming in. Here is Rydell. The Gromp is angry as well. Werlib is going to get out, but they needed everything to do it.
Still a very, very good rotation here from Unicorns. Notice how they're keeping Power of Evil in the mid lane to just wave clear. And then after they take a tower, already got the 1 pick. They know they have the numbers advantage. They move into the jungle of Unicorns, place a few wards, and then go straight to that top lane that was already pushed down. And meanwhile, Vischachi, he recalled to base, sat and waited a little bit and saw, okay, they don't need my help. I can teleport down to defend the tower. And that was just very smart play by Unicorns, really using that 1 pick they created, and obviously the Xerath Corki at this point.
On the hunt is Pops. Frederick looking for Vischachi. No tower to fall back to. Can they skin the bark off the tree? Werlib is going to try to make that one happen. Vischachi really all by his lonesome here. His teammates rushing to get to him. Oh, the lantern save! After he flashed it, too.
Damn.
Wow, Vischachi. Talk about the skin of his teeth. Unicorns fans are fired up for that one.
Giants thought they had the kill here. Didn't really want to blow any ultis onto him. Cataclysm was ready for Frederick, and then the lantern comes in the end. Right now, everything is working for the Unicorns, at least the last minute. 2 Dragons for Giants, however. That's the only thing to worry about for them.
Still 2,000 gold, 1,000 gold, 500 rather down against the Unicorns of Love. They want to look to push in this mid lane. They got a decent little minion wave, not much of one actually. That's going to get pushed away pretty quick. So Giants unable to find anything there. They have to deal with the top side too.
Yeah, they was pushing down, but that's going to be fairly easy for him to respond to. Unicorns at this point, you don't have your teleport ready, so you don't really want to split up in a 1-4 situation, but you still want to use this Corki Xerath to get down the last outer turret. It's in the bottom lane, also why Hylissang and Vizicsacsi is moving into the jungle, getting a few wards on the way to make sure Vardas can take this tower for himself, because the Sivir obviously in the top lane.
Yep, they're going to try to find Whirlup. He's got his Dominus on. Do they have the damage to take him out? The Right of the Arcane going to whiz right by his head, and he's taken down by Vizicsacsi. A little bit of revenge for the big tree as he gets the fade away sapling. Audrey in the top lane takes the tower. Vardex is going to trade by.
They have a big wave here. They have all 5 guys as well. They can take another turret. There's no wave clear from Giant's side. They're trying to respond by taking the top turret as well as the mid lane.
Should be able to do this one, but it started to turn into a bit of a tower race. Giants a little bit greedy, trying to get 2 for 1 right now. Do they have the damage to make it happen? Unicorns of Love, they're not keen in stopping this one anytime soon. We might have a base race on our hands. No, it's Frederick backing away. They're going to try to take this tower out, but they're taking a little bit of time about it. Unicorns are now backing off, though.
Managed to defend the top turret at least and got 2 in the bottom lane, while Adri got 1 for himself, and the mid lane went down. So trading 2 towers between, or well, 4 towers, I guess, in this case, between the teams. But again, Unicorns, they know as soon as they have a numbers advantage, as soon as they see Adri away from Giants, they go straight into the jungle every single time. They look for picks, they place a few deep wards, get more information than Giants have on their side, and that's what they're using really to get some of these towers down and have got a decent enough goal lead at 20 minutes. Next Dragon, 140 seconds. That's going to be the focus for Giants themselves. While again, Unicorns, they still have the option to group up and just rely on your long-range poke. You have teleport ready for Vizicsacsi soon, so they split up in that 1-4, go down towards the mid lane. Then you also control the Dragon at the same time if you force Giants to sit at the turret in mid lane to defend, and then you make a quick rotation after.
Yeah, we wondered a little bit how Power of Evil was going to perform first time on the Xerath in the LCS. So far 103, not too shabby, looking close to picking up his Rabadon's Death Cap. Actually still only in the basic boots too, so he's really been able to rely on his team and his summoners, which he hasn't even had to use that often. There hasn't been too much pressure on him.
He's been relying on all these wards they've placed all game long to just know exactly where the Jarvan was and never get in a situation where you get caught out. That's what Deep Vision does for you, and why the wards will save your life. Notice how Unicorns upgraded 2 Trinket Totems already for them. So there's 2 discount side stones and another side stone on the Lee Sin. So there's so many ways for them to place down a lot of wards. Just gotta buy the pink wards for themselves.
A couple of their wards, normal guns getting placed away. Audrey's gonna take a bit of the damage there. Hylissang not quite connecting on the hook. They may have the ward control in the pit, but they've been chased out, and now that is going to evaporate. Pair of pinks cleared away by the Unicorns of Love. 20 seconds on the Drake.
It's quite a large wave pushing on this top lane, and there's no teleport for Whirlup to go and defend it. So if Unicorns actually force Giants to stay here, they can have those minions do quite some damage on a tower. And again, they're going straight into this jungle every single time. But look what Giants are doing. They're trying to sneak the Dragon behind them. There's a ward spotting it. So now Giants are completely split up.
Yep, they are actually going to have some second thoughts as they realize the Unicorns are going to counterflank this one. Kikis going to try to cut them off, but they can't get back to their own base. Spell Shield, Kikis a little bit forward of his team, and now they're going to try to take this 3v3, but it's about to change just a bit. Kikis caught in a dark binding. Looks like the Giants have managed to eke around the Unicorns of Love, but they're the ones starting the Drake.
And look at this mini-map here. There's so many wards for both teams just around this bot side map here, or bot side of the map, and around the Dragon itself. Giants tried to sneak it. Unicorns responded and came back, and now
he's going in. Oh, he does not quite get it. Gonna have to burn his flash to get out of that one. Was a valiant effort. However, Giants are denied that 3rd Dragon buff, and the Unicorns pick up their first.
Important first Dragon, yeah. The 6% for them. Look at this. We're gonna get Frozen Heart on Vizicsacsi and then Randin's Omen on Lee Sin. So we're gonna get the double attack speed reduction onto the likes of the Sivir, who's basically all about her auto attacks late game. It's going to be great for Unicorns to really try and shut Adri down, who's had a fairly quiet game. A bit more about him actually pushing the side lanes and not joining any fights, which is what we often see from these Sivir players because of her ability to really fast push the waves.
Yeah, Giants have been stretched a little bit across the map this time around. Not quite controlling the vision quite as well as Unicorns. You can see that river is just littered with the Unicorns wards.
That's what happens when you upgrade your trinkets so early. 3 of them now. Vardax even joined in as well. So everyone can add in a few wards. So whichever area Unicorns decide to move in. So when you play again also this like long range poke, having these trinket wards is just such a big buff for you because it allows you to always ward your flanks. And never be in a situation where you can't see one side of the enemy jungle if you're grouping on a tower. So you should always be able to see when Frederick is coming in for the engage. Simply by having so many wards. Do it in solo queue, guys. It is very gold efficient. Your team will be very happy.
Definitely Unicorns of Love pretty happy with their results so far.
Then again, wards don't really kill people, do they?
No, they don't. But you know, that's okay. Because wards
not in solo queue though. You need things that kill people.
I see. You need all the damage, even if you are the
damage. You need health potions.
Full damage. Now, the Giants looking to find a quick pick here, but it's not going to be given over to them. So far, decent controlling their own jungle. Rydell's caught on the line. They don't want to commit to a fight. Peppy walks forward, but he eats a bit of damage from Power of Evil.
Yeah, Unicorn's not really knowing what they want to do at this point, except for getting a pick on Rydell.
Okay, but take them as they come, especially if they're served up on a silver platter. Kikis looking for a little bit more. Teleport. Yeah, Chachi had the deep ward out. Can they make the fight happen? Werlip, he's going to get advanced onto, but they don't quite have the damage to finish him. But maybe they do, because Kikis kicks him right back on in.
Have we seen that before?
Vardax, yeah, I think we have. Deja vu Deficio. 25 minutes in, Unicorns of Love looking to push down this mid turret, and the Giants are 2-man short to try and stop it.
So instead of grouping for Unicorns and try and push down a tower here, they just stayed around the Baron, played around the Vision here, wanted to create a pick first through a hook or the stun from Power of Evil. Once they got it, get 2 kills for it. Well, in 15 seconds still, this tower should take a lot of damage now.
He is their front line. They're going to try to push the waves back. Audrey did a good job here. Yeah, they weren't able to get the damage that they really needed, and Frederick actually tries to move in, but he gets juked for just a second. That Lantern save. Unicorns, they could have had more there.
I guess they want to play it safe still. You got to respect the charm, the engage from the Jarvan as well. So not really feeling like they can move down too early. Again, the charm, the binding from Giants to try and catch them out will result in a lost team fight for the Unicorns, especially if they're standing around the tower of Giants. So that's why they're playing it very careful. Now Kikis, there's the charm.
That's exactly what they needed. The reversal on that one. Audrey's going to pick up a kill, his first of the game. Unicorns could not react in time.
Well, that's going to be a problem for the Unicorns. If they don't feel like they can really push up and use this siege comp they have, and they always respect the charm, the binding, or whatever it is from Giants to land onto one of them, then they're going to have a very hard time actually doing anything with their comp at all. Remember, Giants are going to get a lot of magic resist going into the later stages of the game. Obviously, the same can be said for Unicorns in terms of armor against the Sivir, the Renekton. So we're gonna have some fairly long team fights later on when everyone has a lot of defensive stats.
That's very true. I feel like the ace in the hole here for Unicorns, though, is going to be Power of Evil and how much damage he can pump out onto this team. So far, his positioning has been impeccable. He's participated in 6 out of the 7 kills Unicorns have had. But there's no way he can push this one back by himself. Kick is going to tag in, but it's already gone. Giants with a quick rotation grab themselves the polish off that tower.
They're looking for more here. Pepe, no. Oh, he might actually face check in.
Oh, and he does. Right into the hook. Do they find the catch? They don't land the rocket, but they land enough damage anyways. Right to the arcane. 2-shot, 3-shot. Maybe they can do it. No, and the black shield for the insurance, and the crowd a bit disappointed.
Yeah, just a little bit excited. He was trying to predict the Spirit Rushes.
It was a nice try, though.
Almost got it 2 times there. Didn't manage to pick up the kill in the end, but they forced Giants to go back after losing a tower. Dragon is spawning in a minute. Mid lane is open for Unicorns to push down, but they have been afraid to do it beforehand. Playing a few wards on the way. Let's see if they can get some damage. Audrey is already here to wave clear.
Yeah, Audrey has been really great at this wave clear, though. I mean, to push back the Unicorns for the most part, they don't have too many minions to rely on at this point, and they're not going to polish off the tower.
No, I don't want to stay and take too much damage when the Dragon is spawning in about 40 seconds. Power of Evil already has to go back to base first, so you couldn't really afford everyone tanking up a tower and dropping really, really low for them. And obviously Locket coming in, I like it, from Rydell. Against all this magic damage from Unicorn, will be very important for him.
Absolutely, so he won't be able to pull off the flash ult combo with Zhonya's anytime
Very
soon.
true.
However, I agree, I think this is better for the team because they delayed the tank stats on Werlib. He's obviously now he's a little bit bigger in that regard because he had the Warmog's armor completed as well and the Hex Drinker, but for the interim, to deal with this magic damage that's thrown out by Power Vehicle, that's thrown out by Vardags, it's definitely important. Now, Giants, they don't have the Scuttle Crab Shrine, but they do have the positioning on this Drake that's right about to spawn. But Vizicachi marching on forward. Unicorns, can they chase out Giants? Looks like they've made him back off for now.
Forcing them down to the bottom side of the map here, so mid lane is also open for Unicorns if they start pushing in. Remember that tier 2 turret is very low, but we're gonna have a big fight. Notice how Unicorns are positioned so they can actually try and poke on Giants, and there's no risk of a flank because they're all stuck in this river here. Frederick has to move around the wall if he wants to go for the engage, but he's going in anyway.
Yep.
There's the TP actually.
Werlip, he gets kicked away from this. Frederick, they committed to the fight. So chaotic. Vardags picks up a quick kill in that one. And the Unicorns trying to back away, but Vizicachi right in the front, turning them all away. They've caught Rydal as well. And they should. No, they can't take him down. Yes, they finally do it. A double kill. Going over to Vardags. Audrey, Werlip trying to salvage something. They pick a tree. They've also got Hila saying it's a 2 for 2. The Dragon still live. Respawn, flash forward. Power of Evil doesn't have the damage, but can they find Werlip? It's so low. And Pepinero comes to the rescue. It's a 3 for 2 for Giants.
So Giants here, they were stuck in the river. We were saying they couldn't get a flank, and then suddenly Werlip, he teleports behind Unicorns here to start the fight together with Frederick. Kikis, he's trying to go for steal. And actually that forces Giants to go back. They have no smite. See if Kikis, he's actually recalling on a wall.
Oh, danger zone, danger zone. Oh! And Pepinero.
You can charm the Unicorns of love.
Let's take a look at that fight again, because it was all over the place.
Yeah, so again, they need that flank here from Giants to really start it, so not walking straight into the poke, into the hook, and stuns and everything from Giants. So TP behind and a good engage from Frederick onto the fight itself. So remember, Rydal, he has that locket, no hourglass for him, and actually we go straight back to life instead.
Yeah, well,
Dragon is dead, so is
all
Frederick.
that happened.
Frederick managed to steal it.
Yeah.
And then ends up dying.
They picked that one up, so I mean, you got to think though, if you're Giants, that's the third one that's very important. Hashtag work.
We didn't see what happened, but normally when you have a Lee Sin, you just time your Q with the smite, and then Jarvan shouldn't be able to get it. Kikis didn't even get to use his smite unless he had 2 charges ready.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one again, but for the time being, Giants gonna have that third dragon in the pocket.
How do we get the tower?
Gonna lose this tower though, dodge out the charm. Pepe's really been all over the place with those, but give up that tower. 5-4 Unicorns, boys. They are able to take that one down and back it out.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
So while they lost the dragon, they got a tower at least. But again, Giants actually managed to trade it 1-for-1 due to the minions in the bottom lane. Unicorns keep putting focus on the mid lane only. Nothing else. And Kikis, he might be caught out.
Yep, it looks like he is. He's got his flash available. Thinks he might want to take a fight for just a second. If you're going down, well, no one's going down with you. They managed to pick him up.
Even flashed in the end when he actually ended up dying. So another win for Giants. They can go into Baron here and actually start setting it up. They don't have any pings, however. They only have 1 Oracle Lens, so can't really deny any vision, but they can go for another fight.
Yep, Hillisang caught a little bit apart from his team, dodges the charm, but he goes down anyways. Pepinero with another clutch kill. Now they're looking for Vizicachi. The Unicorns are starting to look a little bit scattered.
Yeah, very split up, and again, not really looking at the side lanes, just putting full focus on that mid lane. They tried 3 or 4 times to take it down. They managed to get it, but lost obviously a tower, and then Kick is dying after, really delaying his flash. And now this Baron we mentioned beforehand, started by Giants. So Unicorns have to go in and they gotta land some poke first if they want to force Giants back from this.
They certainly do. If there's one thing the Giants are, it is decisive, for better or worse. They've started up this Baron. Chachi coming in. The Baron goes down. He's gonna try to make him pay for it. Let's see if they can find the fight. Vardag's getting shut down. That's Rydal coming up with a kill, and they take Vizicachi as well. No casualties on the side of Giants Gaming.
Giants really stepping up again. They won yesterday, despite being so far behind. 2 elements, they came back in the game with one of the most insane comebacks I've seen in a long time. Clearly giving them some confidence, because in this game here, they've not been afraid to pull the trigger and go for the Unicorns, go for the Baron as well, where normally we would see them kind of hesitate, sit back a little bit, and always wait for the other team to make a move. This game though, Giants looking stronger and stronger.
And they may be playing against the Unicorns, but they're playing like a pair of honey badgers, or at least 5. Werlip, he's the one who gets hooked up, but he doesn't really care too much. This tower is starting to get fired down. They've got a naked inhibitor. Kikis not sure of what to do here. The hook, it's only going to land on a minion, and this time he's going to try to get something on the way out, but they don't have the follow-up damage. First inhibit of the game goes to Giants.
Yeah, and again, Giants now with this Baron buff can just split it up. Teleport is going to be ready for Werlip, so once they go back and actually buy. You just send 4 guys to the bottom lane, and you send your Renekton to the top lane. You have super minions already doing work in the mid lane, and you just push in every single lane at once. And as long as Power of Evil is not sitting there to wave clear, if let's say he's sitting bot lane, then suddenly top lane is open for Whirlip to get a few hits on, and then you can quickly move from the bottom lane while Unicorns are clearing it. You can move between the lanes, in with the super minions to the mid lane as well. Many, many options now for Giants.
Yeah, now that they have that 4,000 gold lead or so, they can move around.
Oh, the
make
death
some
push.
plays. But yes,
By the Unicorns.
if they do wander into this one, the Giants could be in a bit of trouble. Kick is going to move a little bit farther forward. Pepinero's going to spot that one out. Fox senses tingling, actually runs in with the Foxfire, has Frederick at his back. The rest of the team coming up behind. I think they might be able to pipe this one out. Okay.
We're actually just going to see them push up. They're just going to focus in 2 lanes instead of all 3 at once. So they have super minions in the mid lane and just go 5 together on this top side here, pushing it in. So that does mean that Unicorns should be able to wave play some of it. But still, with these buffed up minions and a lot of damage, especially from the likes of Adrian to a tower, I think this actually is a good call from Giants.
And the Unicorns have loved, despite the fact that they had a quick first blood, despite the fact that Vardags has done very well on this. They've been out-rotated a couple of angles now with these Baron and Power minions. Giants feeling like they can run in on the hunt.
Going straight for the
They're
fight.
going in the back. Power of Evil, he's gonna be able to lantern his way to safety, or so it looked right there. Tower, they're gonna find it as an afterthought. They've lost Frederick, however. It is a 4v5. Can they turn it back around? The fountain was not so far a trip away. Chachi going down. Inhibitor at half its health. Giants Gaming with a 1-for-1, and they get half the inhibitor down. Trying to get out safely. Charm on Hillisang going in for round number 2. Looks like Whirlip is going to get stunned up for just a second. They'll rethink that plan.
So power play by Giants, going 5 to the top lane. Just pop the ulti instantly as they get to the tower. Go for the dive while Adri took down the turret behind the whole fight. Inhibitor is open. Dragon is spawning in 45 seconds, where we have 3 of them for Giants.
Very
this is still a 4
game.
vs 4.
Oh, teleport.
Back in.
Yeah, Whirlip wants another piece of the action. They don't have the Baron buff anymore. Actually going to turn his attention away. They should be able to muscle
Just
down the
zoning away.
inhibitor. No problem. They've got 2. Although Whirlip, he's going to get caught up. Dashes away. Slice and dice coming in handy. Kickus can't quite get involved on the backside of that one. Frederick, meanwhile, has been sent to the bottom lane. This should be a textbook 4th Dragon at 10 for Giants, but Pepinero's not done with the base just yet. Going forward for Kickus. Does he have the damage? Charm's gonna connect. Pepinero coming up with kill number 5, and we're still going. Rydell now turned on to visit Chachi, and he's gonna back it away. It's another kill going over to Peppy. He was not done. Power of Evil finds Rydell finally, but this game so bloodthirsty. Audrey, he's taking the tower laser. Division, what the hell is happening?
People are killing each other, Pyra. That's happening right now.
Welcome to the European LCS.
Today has been a very
Anything is
action-packed
possible.
day. Very, very good games today. A lot of kills back and forth. Giants, Unicorns doing the same thing. Pepinero.
Who needs a
Not
dragon?
even the guy. Keep messing up Pepinero and Power of Evil. Almost the same name. Not
Well, different results this time around. You got to switch a couple of those numbers. 216 versus 615. I don't know about you. I know who I'd rather be. Dragon's going to get started up right now for Giants Gaming. This should be an easy number 4 for them. They take it in style. 37 minutes into the game, and who'd have thunk it? Giants Gaming are looking to make this a 2-0 week, Deficio.
I wouldn't have expected that coming into the week, looking at Elements and Unicorns of Love for them. So they can, of course, be very happy. The game is not over yet. But Giants
No,
are
it
definitely
is
looking
not.
strong. And honestly, the way they've been playing, especially towards this late game, well, we can say early game and late game, have been great from Giants.
Yeah, they see a chance to go in. They see champion, kill champion. They don't care about towers. They don't care about risky fights. They just make a decision so fast that there isn't much reaction time. The Unicorns have been strung around the map. It did look great for them to begin this game, but the Giants have thundered back into this one. 4 Dragons to 1, 14 kills to 12. It's not quite yet 38 minutes, and they are looking to control the last lane that they've yet to dominate.
Again, with all the super minions coming in, this should not be a problem for Giants. They can do the exact same thing. Pop your Sivir ulti as soon as you get to that tower. Kikis is gonna try and see if he can flank on to Adri maybe and kick him back into the rest of his team.
They don't know where Pepinero is, unfortunately, and this has been to their doom so far.
It's a massive black shield.
He is a big crop. He's just using it to clear out these wards. Not too afraid of this team. Vizichachi gonna run in. Pepinero caught on a line. Can they blow him up? Yes, they can. A big shutdown going over to Vardags. 1, 2, 3. Here comes the rest of the Unicorns. Is it going to be yet? Kikis gets out alive. Werlip, he is triple, quadruple, and well, Penta team, that's a double kill for Vardags as they turn them away. And just when it looked like the Giants might be ready to lock this one up, they get turned back.
Exactly. We didn't really get the flank, but Pepinero, he just died instantly. No defensive items from him. No Mikhails either to cleanse his stun. So as soon as he was locked down, Unicorns won the fight, defended their base. Giants trying to set up a trap on their own now.
See that gold graph. It looked like Unicorns were holding on to an even lead.
Higher mid-game, yeah.
Giants have really, really made the difference despite that lost fight right there. They still hold a decent gold edge. Although Unicorns and Love are really looking to try to clear out the vision on their side of the map and get back into this game. One inhibitor's respawned.
And they know they can't give up this Baron here, and with still Super Minis pushing in the top lane, they had to move out of the base. There's still a few seconds on Werlip and Pepinero. They just spawned now, no teleport. Unicorns, they're starting this Baron. It's only against 3 guys from Giants.
How do you fight decisiveness? By making a quicker decision, it would seem. Baron, about 9,000 health, but Frederick moving on a scouting mission around the backside. They've got the ward on it. Can they get the pickup here? They know Frederick is here. They've got a hook on him, but he's still got a chance to come on in. A really, really early one. Gonna flag and drag in. This could be some trouble. It's going. It's stolen. Frederick comes up with it. The Giants are cleaning up. 4 kills. Pepinero was trying to get away from this one, but he's on a ward. Can they get the clean ace? Right of the arcane. Just gonna buy some time. Pepinero at half his health, but power of evil. I don't believe it, Deficio. Can they do it?
Calm down, D-Man here. Giants got the Baron and clean, almost power wheel just staying out. They're gonna win this. Honestly, the late game for them have been fantastic. They deserve this win.
They absolutely do. 40 minutes into the game, Giants Gaming, they were not able to find a win since week 1. Jack's target banned against Werlip. They seem to have found an answer in week number 5. 2 wins on the board for them. It's gonna be a 40.5-minute victory and an ace to top it off. Giants Gaming, how about a cherry on top?
Honestly, an impressive game from them. Early on, they got the standard lanes we talked about. They managed to win the 2 side lanes. We didn't see Frederick being too active early on, but they still managed to push down 2 fast turrets. Use that to kind of avoid Unicorns just grouping early on and not having any response. And that was also...
Unicorns.
Yeah, Unicorns, they were ahead in the mid game.
They were.
Never really managed to push it. They were always afraid of Giants engaging onto them, despite having so many wards down on the map from the Unicorns.
It seemed like
they're going to steal it too now.
Yeah, name of the game. The Unicorns, again, they were looking so great coming into this week, but they fell flat. They looked better in this game, but they just didn't execute as much as they need to. And Giants, they can take